Hey first grade, Miss Romanos here. I'm really excited today to be doing this read aloud with you because it is about one of my favorite stories, Rainbow Fish. Now, this is like Rainbow Fish Part 2. If you remember reading Rainbow Fish in kindergarten, give a silent me too right now. Rainbow Fish, when you read it in kindergarten, the very first book, Rainbow Fish, he was not very nice. He had a lot of shiny, pretty scales that he refused to share with the other fish in the sea. And because of that, they didn't want to play with him. And he didn't like not being played with. But by the end of the story, in the first Rainbow Fish book, he learned his lesson to share his scales, his shiny ones, and he made new friends to play with. Now, let's see what happens to Rainbow Fish in the second Rainbow Fish book. The title is Rainbow Fish to the Rescue. Rainbow Fish to the rescue. That's making me think that he might be saving someone or something since he's coming to the rescue. As we read this story, I want you to think about character feeling and character change. I'm noticing here there's Rainbow Fish with one sparkly scale, and then I see another fish there with just some striped fins. Rainbow Fish to the rescue. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there swam a school of fish. Not just ordinary fish. Each one had a sparkling silver scale. Ever since Rainbow Fish had shared his scales, these fish had done everything together. They swam together. They played together. They ate together. They even rested together, floating in the shadows of the reef. They were so happy together. They had no interest in other fish. So one day, when a little striped fish swam through their game of flash tag, they all stared at him. "Hey," the little striped fish finally said, "can I play too?" "It's flash tag," said one little fish, "and you don't have a flashing scale." It's not very nice. Right now, take a minute in your brain to think about how did the striped fish feel when they told him they couldn't play. They told him he couldn't play. Think about how he feels. Take a minute in your brain. Now tell your turtle, whisper it inside your hand. I'm going to do it too. Now, let's think about how he felt. He probably felt a little upset and a little sad that they told him he couldn't play with them because he didn't look like them. "Do you have a special scale?" the little striped fish asked. "Of course you do," said the little fish with the jagged fins. "Come on, let's play," he called to the others. "Don't worry about him." How do you think the other fish are acting when they told him that he could not play because he didn't have a sparkly scale? How do you think these fish are acting? Think about character traits and a trait that matches how they're acting. I'm going back and I'm thinking about how to describe these fish. I'm going to say that they're being mean and maybe they're being a bully because they're telling him he can't play because of how he looks. Then all of the fish turned and went back to their game. Rainbow Fish hesitated. Hesitated means to wait. Hesitated means to, that's right, wait. He was afraid of losing his new friends. He didn't dare stand up to the fish with the jagged fins. Feeling a little ashamed, Rainbow Fish reluctantly swam off to join the other friends. So Rainbow Fish Instead of standing up for the fish with the stripes, he went and joined the other fish. Think about rainbow fish. Is he being kind? Is he being a good friend right now? Think about that. The little striped fish floated all alone at the edge of the reef. He looked sad as he watched the game. The other fish were having such fun, darting and diving in the deep blue sea, their shiny scales sparkling. He's probably very, very sad. I know that at school, if you're playing and someone told you that you couldn't play, you would feel the same way. You would feel very, very sad. Rainbow Fish remembered what it felt like to have no friends and how lonely he had been when all of the fish had ignored him. He had been so proud of his glittering scales that he had refused to share them. No wonder nobody had wanted to play with him. But now, his new friends didn't want him to play, and Rainbow Fish soon was caught up in the game. No one was paying attention when danger entered the reef. Let's see what happens. Suddenly, a shark shot like an arrow into the middle of the school. The fish darted in every direction and managed to escape to their hiding place. There, in a narrow crack in the reef, the shark could not reach them. They were safe, but the little striped fish wasn't. Rainbow Fish couldn't keep still. He was so worried. "What's wrong?" asked the skinny fish. It's the little striped fish," said Rainbow Fish. "He's all alone out there. We've got to help him." With that, Rainbow Fish left the safety of the hiding place. "Let's go," he called. The other fish trembled with fear, but they knew what they had to do. They sped out of the crack after Rainbow Fish. They soon saw the shark, and there was the little striped fish, swimming and spinning away from his jaws. Rainbow Fish could see that the little fish's strength was failing fast. "Hurry!" shouted Rainbow Fish, and all of the fish swarmed straight for the shark. This confused the shark, because usually fish swim away from him. He turned this way and that, snapping right and left until he was dizzy. The shark almost got the fish with the jagged fins, but he escaped with just a few scratches. Describe the fish now. Before, they ignored the little striped fish and didn't want to play with him. They weren't being a good friend. But now, they're helping him get away from the shark. How do you think they are acting? Are they being kind? What other words would you describe the other fish with now that they're helping the striped fish? Think about a really juicy word to describe the other fish. I'm going to think too. Tell a big person next to you how you would describe the other fish now. I'll give you a minute. Now, I'm going to share what I think they are acting like. I think the other fish are now being either brave, maybe courageous. If you have another juicy word, share it with Miss Romanos on Classroom Dojo or with any of your teachers. Quietly, Rainbow Fish led the little striped fish to safety. "You were really brave." Ooh, we just said that word, said the little striped fish. "Thanks for saving my life." Together, they watched as the exhausted shark gave up and swam away. When all of the fish returned safely to the reef, they welcomed the little striped fish. "Why don't you stay and play with us?" Rainbow Fish offered. "How can I play flash tag when I don't have a shiny scale?" asked the little striped fish. "We can play fin tag instead," said the fish with the jagged fin. "Touch a fin and you're it." All the fish cheered, and then they swam off to play together in the deep blue sea. The end. Now, if you really loved that story, I want you to find someone in your house and retell the story to them and tell them why you really enjoyed the story. I also want you to write on a piece of paper and send a picture of it, an answer to Miss Romanos' juicy question. My juicy question is, how did rainbow fish change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? I'll say it again. How did rainbow fish change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? Think about how he was acting in the beginning when he left the striped fish and didn't play with him. Then think about how he acted at the end of the story when he helped to rescue the striped fish. And actually, they all ended up playing together. So again, think about, how did rainbow fish change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? Send your response to Miss Romanos for NYU in Classroom Dojo, to Miss Engineering in Hampton, and to Miss Easton for MSU, and to Miss Autry for BC. We can't wait to see your written response. Thank you so much for reading today with me. Hope you like the book as much as I do. Bye, first grade.